how she get it. Made a couple racks, I never asked her how she get it. City girls love to have fun in the city. City girls love to have fun in the city. City girls love to have fun in the city. City girls love to have fun in the city.
With me today is my new friend, attorney Jose Leon. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited to have you here. As usual, as I always tell people, I avoid people until they're here. So anyway, I want you to just kind of share your background for, to everyone and let them know what it is that you do.
For sure. So first and foremost, I'm an immigrant. Came from Sinaloa when I was 6 years old to Arizona. Landed, if you will, in Nogales, Arizona, and did K through 12 there before coming up to the Valley to go to college. And, got here, very, very few relationships. And even at a young age, I decided to, come to Phoenix instead of the other town down south so that, so that I could start building relationships.
That is. Wildcat.
That's right.
We're going to fight.
Right after. And wanted to make sure that I did something impactful in the community and made a difference. And, that flavor was being an attorney and helping the community, specifically, obviously, with personal injury law and car accidents in specific. So,
how did you get into personal injury?
Interesting story. So when I was in school, I thought real estate was really the thing that I wanted to do the most. And real estate law was probably the angle that I wanted to take. But, leading into the end of my law school time, I realized that, that economy was going to be imploding. And while I was interning at a small practice with a local attorney that was doing charity work that I knew, Mike Doyle, his office had 4 different practice areas, and one of them was personal injury. Into real estate and other probate law and other things. But I really got excited about personal injury law because of the impact we were making, being able to solve a complex problem and be able to talk to people about that problem that they had and get them through that problem successfully. Of course, the injury is something that creates a big upending in people's lives. So being able to get them focused on their health and get them essentially back to their regular life was important to all of us as attorneys and practicing in the area, but primarily for me. And I felt like it could be a good role model for the community, especially here, doing that type of work.
So did you know, right away from the get-go, okay, I really enjoy helping people, so I like personal injury, you knew?
I knew when I was in there, right? I was working there for a year before I got my bar card, and when you're doing real estate law, you don't realize it. You're just looking at documents. You're drafting documents. You may talk to the client over the phone, but you don't get the chance to deal with the community as much as you deal with corporations or the owner of a corporation. The nice thing is I'm kind of a social person, so I wanted to have that interaction. So I gravitated towards that practice of law because of that. There's more interaction with the people. So,
and then as far as just your love for it in general, what you kind of went into it already, but is there anything specific that happened, or how did you know that this is it, you're gonna keep doing this? Was there a person you got to help tremendously that made an impact?
Well, it's very interesting. As an immigrant with a parent that didn't really grow up in this country, it's a common theme where you become the spokesperson for that person. And when you're growing up, I know when I was growing up, whether I knew it or not, I was destined to be an attorney. They called me a little mini lawyer when I was out there with my parents. My dad was in produce, so we would travel. He had his main product was potato, but I would always be talking for my parents, translating, doing as much as I could to help out when we initially came to the States. And I always felt like that immigrant community didn't have the opportunity to assimilate, for better or for worse. Certain people don't want to, and some people can't. And that, became a passion for me as far as being able to be a tool for people to get them through a problem, and specifically the Hispanic community. So that was my calling, and the flavor, like I said, happened to be personal injury law as I was kind of navigating my own growth, figure out who I was going to be, who I was going to grow up to be. And, I think, the guy upstairs put things in front of me to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take me back to your upbringing a little bit. So you said that, so first of all, how old were you when you migrated here?
6.
6?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember how it was for you, like learning the language?
It was through cartoons. I'll say that. It was easy and difficult at the same time. I'll say it was easy because you had the opportunity to be in a border town where you have bilingual people everywhere. Majority of the people spoke Spanish and English, and I think that the detriment to that environment is that you don't get a chance to learn the English language. Let's call it as pristine or as clean as you could. But my mom specifically was very dedicated on learning the language in English and Spanish, independent of each other, so I didn't land in the Spanglish,
Right.
Which I still have because I grew up with friends and I was still a normal kid. So, my mom and dad wanted that for me, but I still kept that character of being from Nogales and being a Nogi kid and growing up in that environment. So.
Hey, Nogales has the best tacos.
Good food.
I would drive down there. Just
Good food,
that.
for sure.
Yeah. And your recollection of your growing up, like your parents, how was that for them when you think back? Like, how did they protect you? How did they, encourage you?
So, my dad and my mom didn't have much of an education. My dad grew up, I think with maybe a 3rd grade education. He got into, agriculture because that was the best opportunity for him. And he was an extremely successful person that had the means to bring us to the U.S. With a little better environment, if you will. And my mom, she got her GED when we got to Nogales, and we got an opportunity to, to get here. But that's only half the battle, and that's where I see the difference in that tool, being that tool, because all they wanted was for me to have a better life, and they knew that going to school, like a default in everybody's community, that was the opportunity. I leaned a lot on my school counselors to get through the process, with some hiccups along the way, because sometimes you look at people that get somewhere and you think, oh, that was a clean process. It wasn't from my perspective, because there were no mentors necessarily there to tell me, hey, don't do this, don't do that, focus on this. But my parents had the heart. They had the wherewithal to work hard and then give me the opportunity to go to school. But that was it. It's like, here it is, you figure it out. And thankfully, I had a good support system with them and with other people in the community to get there. So,
and a lot of respect for immigrant parents, for sure. Families in general, because it's just a different type of experience. Do you have brothers and sisters? So
I'm an only child with my mom. My dad had me at 52. And he had, I want to say 28 that I know of. He had a lot of kids. He had a lot of marriages.
What is it? A papi chulo.
Yeah, Don Juan, but he took care of all his kids, and, thankfully he had the opportunity to do that. But I never really had a father figure growing up because he traveled a lot. He was more of a grandpa figure. I'd see him a lot, not on a daily basis, but I'd see him a lot. He was still a role model for me, somebody to aspire to, not much more of a problem from the perspective of a father, but he, that was that age gap. So if I was at a band event, it was like, oh, like, who's your grandpa? Well, that's my dad, so that really affected the way that I kind of decided to have my own kids, and wanted to have them a little younger and, whatever. Yeah.
Earlier you said that you had a lot of support in the community. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like you said, your counselors, was it your neighbors? Like, how was that for you?
So I think early on, I wanted to ask questions. Like I said, I was a little talkative kid. So I wanted to go out and figure out what's out there. What should I be doing? How can I help, even at a young age? And when you're going through high school, they tell you have to do community service, and you have a better chance at getting into college if you do that. So I went to the Boys and Girls Club of I think it was in Pima County of Nogales. I really don't know what it was called, because we have a number of them here in the Valley, of course, with city names attached to them. But the Boys and Girls Club really was the place where I started to get more of an understanding of the world. And I had other friends through school, of course, that had their own little businesses. So I understood that. I didn't know anything about law besides knowing that my dad, used one for work, but that was it. So I would say school counselors, being able to volunteer my time, especially as I prepped for college. And, when I was in that kind of high school age, I was dedicating a lot of my time in that after school program at the Boys and Girls Club. And those folks really helped me understand charity,
like hearing about that.
giving back. So that was really cool for me, I thought.
And as far as like the Boys and Girls Club, I mean, definitely shout them out because I think they have an important role in our community. And it sounds like you immersed yourself like in the community and you gave and they gave right back to you.
It did. It was definitely a win-win from that perspective. And it really stuck with me even coming into the Valley. I had a moment of, being selfish from the perspective of wanting to get through the college experience. And then soon thereafter, I started giving back again.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I can see that in a lot of the work that you do. So, but with your family, you said that how your dad's age gap affected how you wanted to have your own kids. So when did you get married and when did you have kids?
So I got married at, I want to say 24. And then we waited on, probably a good 5 years. And then we had our first kid. I think it's not super young in our environment, in our culture here in the U.S. Very late from some perspectives in what I thought I was going to be doing. But I had a goal in mind. I wanted to, get through school and get a career and have a couple of dollars to be able to feed my kids. So I waited a little bit. So got married younger, but thankfully it worked out to where I could still have kids, in my late 20s, early 30s. I have two, so.
And how old are they now?
So Vivi's 10 and then Weston is 7 currently.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I missed that age.
They're great. They still pay attention to daddy. My daughter's really a spitfire, so I can definitely see how her attention at some point in her teenage years will focus on herself and obviously the world, but they still love their daddy.
So 18 years from now, might watch this video again. So tell me what's your favorite thing about each one of them right now in this stage today.
So Vivi's always been a little girl, a gal that's got a lot of independence, and I love that about her. She's got a lot of moxie, and I think that's gonna just take her really to be a successful human and productive human. And my boy is just the sweetest, tenderest kid. So if I had to say, hey, what's the coolest part of them? The Weston's super sweet and super funny, and then Vivi's determined and has a lot of grit.
Awesome. So your son is gonna make one woman a lucky one later on.
He grew up with an older daughter, older sister, so that's gonna be huge for him. Yeah, he's gonna understand girls.
And how did you meet your wife?
That's a really interesting story. So I'm getting through ASU, and I wanted a senior trip, if you will, and I had business management and Spanish as my degrees. Like I mentioned earlier, my mom really wanted me to have Spanish clean. I grew up in the U.S., so it was something that I needed to be bilingual and have a really high standard from her perspective. So I got a degree in Spanish, but some of the upper level classes, you could take abroad. And my professor at the time was putting together a group of kids, 45 of us, to go to Spain for a semester in spring of 2003.
Spain.
So I'm out there, taking 2-3 classes, upper division, 300, 400, and wanting to just have fun and then polish off my degree. Well, it just so happens that this girl that's coming out of college as well is finishing her degree in Spanish, and we meet in Spain. One of the funniest stories is she calls back to town to one of her friends, sorority sister, and she says, hey, I met this guy, his name's Jose. And then her friend's like, Jose Leon. And then my now wife, Erin, she's like, yeah, how do you know him? I went to high school with him. You're out there in Spain meeting a guy that you could have met at school here at ASU. So, 3 years went by. We never came into contact, out and about or on campus, even though I would see this other friend of mine from high school all the time on campus. I'd wave at her and say, hey, what's up? Never came across Erin until I got to Spain. So fast forward, of course, a couple years, and it was a whirlwind relationship. We met obviously that first semester, or the beginning part of 2003, and by the end of 2005, we married. So super cool. Little story about how two kids from the valley met.
Right.
It wasn't here; it was in another country. It's like,
if that's
weird.
not the universe, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
But so did you like see her at the trip? And like,
it was the first meeting. So you had orientation.
Oh my!
And we met. We happened to be in the same classes because she was already advanced Spanish, and I definitely was. I was just taking history and other things. So, we essentially super dated for a whole semester because we were together for classes, and we would travel because the program allowed you to have basically a 4-day weekend every weekend, every week, and we would travel all over Europe.
But did you just make eye contact? Like, how did you meet?
It was literally that we all met each other, and then it was like a little clique, but we just bonded. We were just really interested in the same things. In Spain, they siesta, and we're like, what is that? You're gonna go to sleep, or you're gonna take a break middle of the day? So we really bonded over food, and I'd like to say that it was our want to go enjoy, Chinese food at these mom and pop places, Italian food. No offense to the Spanish, but their food was not as great as other ethnicities. So we got a chance to really tour our little town, Alicante, that we were in through, the Chinese and Italian restaurants that were there. So
do some math for me. So you dated for how long, and then?
So it was like 2 years and 10 months, basically, because it was like beginning like January 5 or whatever of 2003. And then we came back April of 2003. And then we dated in the Valley until January 1 of 2005 when I proposed. And then I got married October 22nd.
And it's been how long now?
So I knew you were going to ask that question. I think 16.
Yeah. Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And look, you did it like you said, fast, but when you know, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
And we were young, but everybody, I was just telling my wife the other day, I think everybody thinks they're old or mature at 18 or 24, but we kind of knew what we wanted out of life, and it kind of worked out. We had a good vision. We have great communication, which I think is a really good part of our relationship of, hey, these are challenges. Let's not take it on each other. Let's focus on how we can team up and tackle the issue. And it's been the best 16 years, if not more, obviously, with the years that we dated. So
I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
You know how rare it is anymore.
It is. It's hard, especially at such a young age when you're growing up still. I feel like there's, things that will take you apart. And still, I think people that have kids and then you see that happen again even after the kids leave. So just that investment in working to help each other and complement each other and not need each other, if you will, has been one of our goals. Because you still work every single day. You work on that.
I like that because I did ask one of our peers same question, and he kind of said, marriage is hard, and it'd be a lie to say that it isn't. But for him, what worked was they grew together.
Exactly.
So, because some people grow apart,
right?
They made sure they grew together
actively, and you don't like. There may be a book, so I'm sorry if there is a book out there, but there was no book for us. We just had good people around us, and like that Spanish teacher actually that got us to meet in Spain. He told us, as he had got through a couple of relationships, and he was obviously looking for a partner, or was with somebody at the time, and he said, hey, you guys are lucky, because he saw the whole progression of us meeting and then now being serious at the end of April. And he said the coolest part is that you're going to grow together. Right. So yeah.
And that's so special,
Yeah.
Your wife's name's Erin, right?
Erin, yeah.
So what do you talk to her? What's your favorite thing about Erin?
She's super intelligent, and she is hardworking, doesn't really care much about anything besides her family. It's huge for her. And, best partner you can have. that can help you figure out what your weaknesses are and strengthen those, or help you strengthen them. Because like I mentioned, I think she's independently able to survive, as am I. I'd like to think she would not agree with that. But I think it really helps to have two people that are strong together and strong apart.
So she has your back, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah. And she can stand alone in any environment, which is the coolest part about her. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet her. And I'm inviting myself to your 25th wedding anniversary.
There you go.
Jose, tell me, I could see it just from following you on all platforms and, having the same friends as you. I kind of know what you're passionate about, but I want you to share that with everyone else.
Thank you. Well, I alluded to it along the way, but one of the things that I think is important in one's life is to figure out what it is that you are going to feel good about at the end of the day when you go to sleep. And, a big thing that helped me along the way was having folks that could, and organizations that could help me understand and navigate the world. So the cool part for me was Boys and Girls Club to get started in life. When I got to Phoenix, got a chance to be introduced to the Scottsdale 2030 Club, which is a group that at its core wants to build leaders. And as a byproduct, they put money together to give to the community, to charities that are boots on the ground charities. So I had the opportunity to help with events and get introduced to other charity groups that are boots on the ground charities, like Boy Soap, Girl Soap. And I've been able to dedicate time in the community, not only there, but now with the Scottsdale Charros, which is a group that hosts spring training with the San Francisco Giants, to generate money for the community, the Scottsdale School District, children's charities in the community. And at the moment, I'm thankful to be involved still in the Scottsdale Charros, and then also at Boy Soap, Girl Soap. Boy Soap, Girl Soap focuses on getting kids that have different challenges, whether it's financial or environment, and get them to private schooling, get them out of a cycle that they may be in, and then put them into college. So I'll get the chance to be the chairman of the board there here in January 2022, and then I am also going to be president of the Scottsdale Charros organization here next fiscal year, which is a blessing because I can help not only provide an impact in those communities, or at least those environments and organizations, but then also try to be a role model for as much as or as little as I've done for kids in the community that are aspiring to do something with their life and may not know what the world's about.
Right.
So that's what I'm most passionate about. And it kills two birds with one stone because it's super fun. It gives me an opportunity to have a good time and make an impact and have a little bit of an outlet, because I still am a business owner at the end of the day. I still have a family that I want to be with, and that business ownership aspect of it, which I didn't touch too much on today, but I got that from my father as far as, that hero element of it. And, I get the chance to have a balanced life, have an opportunity to give back.
That's so important.
Yes, 100%. Give back, be with my family, be able to drop my kids at school, and then, of course, give the community what I can with the skills that the guy upstairs has given me. So
that's amazing. I'm super proud of you, and that's
thanks.
We need to we need to clone people like you, I guess, because we need a lot more of that. How about hobbies? What are your hobbies? I mean, from the pictures, I don't want to guess. What are your hobbies?
I'm a hack at golf, and that's cool and all. But one of the things that is the biggest challenges and most gratifying things to do is to go out and learn how to be a better horseman. With the Scottsdale Charros, we go out and we ride horses. We get a chance to go out in Arizona and enjoy a new ranch every single year, and learn how to work the land, if you will. Even though my dad was a farmer and I come from a farmer's family and understand what that world is like, I was really young, and being able to connect with that through a slightly different angle has been really cool. So I try to become a better horseman as much as I can. My wife grew up riding horses, and I get a chance to kind of dip my toes into how to be a cowboy when I'm not a city slicker. So
I know I saw some photos of you with. That's why I figured.
yes,
I was gonna ask you today, like an inspirational story that maybe you could share with us. But you're welcome to circle back to your dad. However, I did want to ask you, like in your lifetime, you said you're 40 now, right?
yes.
Yeah, like what's the story that has impacted you that happened to you?
Well, I have many, and I think one of the things that you realize is that you get the opportunity to have an impactful story. You just have to listen, and I think less than maybe giving a story as much as I want to go back to those things about my father. Although I will say one thing that may be the story. He always, as a young kid, you think, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and one of the things that he always wanted me to know is that I should always be helping others, or try to do something. It happens to be being a lawyer that's going to benefit the world. So that was kind of the biggest thing
That's
that I
huge.
think I took away from, as far as inspirational stories. But it was a theme that I try to apply
your life.
throughout my life. Yep. And the coolest part is that if you listen and you start realizing that every interaction sometimes gives you that ripple effect to become a better person, or maybe change the way that you look at a situation, that gives you the opportunity to then maybe do the same thing for somebody else. Sometimes things are happening for a reason, even if you're getting kicked down or you get into a challenge where you would have expected to have been somewhere else. Things are happening for a reason, and accept it and move on. And then I would say the only other one, because I consume a lot of video, YouTube happens to be the place where I get reminded how to tie a bow tie and a lot of other things. But there are many, many videos out there about, something as easy as making your bed. Accomplish something. I think especially in this day and age, and in charity, and kids and schools, we deal with social emotional skills and those challenges for kids that are having trouble emotionally. And if we can just allow ourselves to have a little win in a day, it helps you wake up tomorrow.
See, I like that. And for anyone listening, it's self-help, and it's out there. So, and I know your why for being a personal injury. I got that in the beginning. And obviously, like I said, you're highly regarded in that. But overall, like as a person, what's your why as a person? Like Jose Leon, how you interact with people. Why are you like the way you are?
I think it's because I'm gonna say because of my parents. I mean, they were always highly regarded in the community, and I always looked at them as people that were, really cool. People knew who they were from the small town that we were from, of course, not in the U.S. But if you live your life like you're being looked at every single moment, and you won't have a regret because you're always going to be doing the right thing. So it's kind of in my DNA from that perspective. So I don't know if I'm answering your question as much as I'm trying to figure out why I am who I am. I don't know if it's anything special,
it looks like a combination of a few things.
Yes. Yes. My why is my family. I don't want to, I don't want my kids to, look back and say, oh, that guy was not doing the right thing in life. I need to do something different. So that's it's got to be the kids.
Yeah.
If I had to pinpoint something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I was to ask you your favorite quote, what would it be? Mine is, you always see me post it. We rise by lifting others.
That's a good
And I'm
one.
like a robot with that. So what's yours?
Well, I mean, for my business, it's, it's something that's dear to my heart. It's, try to get people back to happy. If you bring, some toxicity or sourness to an environment, that's going to net, toxicity as well. So I think for me, it's getting people back to happy. And how do I do that in any environment, whether it's work or otherwise? And that's just the best motto for me that I can live by. It's pretty simple, but you think
I
about
like
it,
that.
it's got depth to it.
So really, you're gonna change your Facebook profile.
I need to.
And then when you start your TikTok, because I'm telling you should, that's gonna be your handle.
Yes,
right?
I need to. I've got some stuff out there. You're that hashtag, and I'll get to that one later. But you've got that dialed, so I need to listen.
Yes, I'm here to help. So, and I know we're approaching our time, but I have a few funny things to do with you. So,
Cool.
But before that, Justin's gonna put up, your charities up here too, so that everyone can like follow and support. But on to the fun stuff.
Awesome.
So, quick trivia. This is a funny one. The first one I already know, but I'm gonna put myself through it. ASU or Juve?
ASU. Go Devils.
Starbucks or Dutch?
Oh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. I'm gonna have to go Starbucks.
Okay.
I like
my
the
daughter
stars.
will not like that answer.
I know. I still support both. I'll tell you that much.
Cookies or donuts?
I'm gonna go cookies.
Okay. Salad or pizza?
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to be better. Definitely pizza.
So, well, is your team right now, your whole office, are they doing like are they in a challenge? Are they trying to eat healthy? Like when you try to have a meeting, do you bring healthy stuff to them?
No, we always pick the best tacos that we can find every time because at home I'm usually good and I usually let loose when I'm out and about.
All right, I'm coming for tacos then.
Yes.
So for in Phoenix, your dine-in restaurant, you cannot pick 2, 3. One. Steak 44, Mastro's, taco. What is it? I almost said Taco Bell. I meant Toca.
Oh, well, no, Taco Bell very well could have been it. I'm gonna say
for fine
dining.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to say a City Hall Mastro's, the OG.
The OG one.
Spawned literally every
butter
steak.
cake.
Ooh, every steak that I have, I grade on that memory.
Okay, fast food. Favorite fast food.
It's going to be a weird one. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but it's Chipotle.
Okay.
So when Chipotle came out with their children's menu, I'm like, I think I need to have kids.
What's your order at Chipotle?
It's always a burrito bowl with the carnitas, black beans, white rice, pico de gallo, and the red sauce and lettuce.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, he knew it.
I'm on speed dial there.
There's a new. Yeah, you weren't kidding. There's a new brisket. I haven't tried it.
I saw that. It's they're getting into the commercial game, so I saw that. My boy saw it. He's like, "Huh, that's interesting." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, let's go."
Okay.
Let's go.
Favorite song.
Wow, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
It's what I get my kids up with. I turn on the speaker in the house, and
I see you, Jose.
Yeah, diverse.
Favorite movie.
Coming to America.
Oh,
and I quote,
my gosh.
I quote that movie so much. My wife's like, "Gosh, you're old."
And then basketball team.
Basketball team, the Bulls. Although it's that MJ life. So
yeah, it shows our age, but
does.
That's okay.
It definitely dates us for sure.
And favorite football team.
Favorite football team again, Cowboys. Emmitt Smith. I just grew up watching him move the rock, and great man. So
yeah.
And
favorite candy.
Favorite candy. Oh, that's a hard one. I'm going to have to say, I'm gonna have to say saladitos. It's a note to growing up. Yeah,
I love saladitos.
It's a tamarind. Just for the folks that don't know,
every gas station down there, Tucson, Nogales carries that.
Yeah, saladitos are a little tamarind candy that's dehydrated in salt, and man, it just puckers my mouth just thinking about it.
So in the Philippines, we have that, but it's sweet and sour.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad,
it's good though.
We didn't get into this. My dad's Asian, half Native Mexican American, and he would always bring all these Asian elements and candies, and there was this like sweet tamarind.
Yeah, it's good.
In
mango,
paper mache. Yes.
The dried mango.
Oh my goodness.
The one that Costco carries. That's the best.
Yes.
I'm helping you out.
Thank you.
And then your favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit is mango. So Sinaloa, I'm from Sinaloa. And mangoes, it's one of their main products out there, as well as sugarcane. I'm from Los Mochis, but mangoes, anything mango.
And your favorite color?
Favorite color is blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the Dallas
Simple.
Cowboys? Were?
That's right.
Oh, boy. Jose, please tell everyone how they can get a hold of you.
So nowadays it's extremely hard to just, pick something because there's a laundry list of places that we're typically at. But just the website is leonlawpllc.com, and that's LeonLawPLLC. And most of our handles are Leon Law. So
Until we fix it to what was it?
getting back to happy.
Yes.
Yeah. Getting back to happy.
And we'll put all that up here. So we
Awesome.
got you. Honestly, thank you for being here.
Thank you
I
for
really
having me.
appreciate it. You're an awesome person. Can't
Thank
wait to get to spend more time with you.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here at Connect with Christina, aka
The Clap God.
there you go.
Brand new biz, never ask her how she get